Welcome into Ride the Line, the greatest podcast in sports betting entertainment. My name is Tanner Kern. I'm a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is G Money Grant Mitchell. We are giving you guys the plays today, our day. Lock in. It's hump day. It's Wednesday. And if you're not ready to win right now, if you don't have that mental mindset prepared, get out. And you can't teach that. Bada boom, man, the people in the room. Welcome in to Ride the Line, Grant.
Tanner, not only is today our day, every day is our day on the Ride the Line, in the Ride the Line family, on the WSN channel. And guys, it's an early plug, but make sure that you are subscribed because Tanner and I, we are here 3 times a week. We've got NFL approaching. We've got so much exciting stuff on the horizon. You guys want to be a part of it all.
I want to do college football picks on Friday. Friday's week 0 college football picks. So show up for that. Not baseball. We're done with that.
So I just wrote a preview of the it's Navy and Notre Dame. And to my surprise, I didn't know that. I'm sure other people knew this already, but that game is being played in Ireland. It's like that's mind blowing for week 0 of college football. I like to go across the pond. First of all, I think it's pretty cool. But I mean, imagine being a kid and you start your football season in Ireland.
They've been doing it for like 20 years, not Notre Dame. So like I know Nebraska played overseas last year. I think it was Nebraska Northwestern last year overseas.
I mean, if they do this and this is a tradition, I'm just now finding out of it. Maybe I'm a bad sports fan, but I thought that I had no idea. I had no idea.
Did you take Navy with points or Notre Dame?
I took Navy with points, yeah, plus 20 and a half. They played last year, and it was 35-32, so they would be relatively close. And all Navy does is run the football anyway, and like early season, going to a different continent, that'll translate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't take Notre Dame for 20 and a half points on a different continent in the first game of the season with a brand new quarterback. I just can't do it. I like the pick, Grant. That's my pick too. Anyways. Subscribe to the channel. We got baseball picks today. Friday, we'll have college football picks. We'll both be on the Navy midshipmen, and you'll find that out on Friday. But right now, Grant, you can start us off. Give me your first baseball pick.
Well, it's a pick that if you took in the last 6 days, it would have hit every single time because the Seattle Mariners run line is my pick. They've covered in 6 straight games, and they've covered in 19 of their last 26. And Tanner, I don't know. I don't remember if we were talking about it on the last show. We very well might have, but the Mariners are coming for that AL West lead. They're flying past the Astros. The Rangers better pull themselves together because the first half of the season, pretty much everything went right for the Rangers, and so they had this huge lead, led the league in scoring, all that jazz. They started to come down just a little bit, and not because they were playing poorly, but just because they couldn't sustain the level they were at forever. Then they go out, they bring in Aroldis Chapman, they bring in Max Scherzer. You think, okay, these are the moves to make sure that they lock up that seed, that playoff seed, and maybe even go on to win a World Series. They got to watch out because the Mariners are red hot right now. And today, George Kirby's going to be on the mound for them. He is 10-8 with a 3.23 ERA and a 1.02 WHIP. Going against Michael Kopech, who's 5-11 with a 5.12 ERA and a 1.50 WHIP. Now, Kirby has a 2.05 ERA in 3 starts this month. Meanwhile, Kopech also has 3 starts this month, but he's got a 9.88 ERA in those. And if you just look at his game log recently, the earned runs he's given up are 9, 4, 2, 3, 4. He's consistently given opponents the opportunity to score, hasn't had a single shutout, obviously. Over the last month, the Mariners are 3rd in scoring, and they've got the best bullpen ERA. They've dominated the series so far. I don't see that changing today.
I like it. Mariners have been absolute animals as of late. Run line for the Mariners has been money. So I'm going to say keep going with the Mariners. Good pick here, Grant.
Thank you. Our friend Greg Peterson, G-Unit, we were talking off camera in between commercial breaks, and I was talking about, I asked his opinion. I said, what's your opinion on the wagon that is the Mariners? And he said, well, they're the 2nd biggest wagon in Major League Baseball right now. You want to know who the first is? And I said, is it the Atlanta Braves? He goes, no, it's betting against the New York Yankees. And that made me laugh a little bit.
I could see him saying that. The Yankees have lost 9 straight games. I think I saw something the last time the Yankees have lost 9 straight. Rich Hill was pitching for the Expos.
Yep, in his 3rd season. Yep, that was crazy.
Pretty crazy. All right, Grant. I got a nice little nerfy play, a little 2:10 start time nerfy play. Minnesota Twins versus the Milwaukee Brewers here. Kenta Maeda is on the mound. I don't love Kenta Maeda. He's very inconsistent. He's got 3 quality starts in his past 5. I don't care about that, though. All I need is 3 outs today. That's all he needs to get me is 3 freaking outs. He's a 1.16 whip, really good strikeout ability, 82 Ks in 69 innings. He is the wild card in this one. If he can get the 3 outs, I'm confident Corbin Burnes can get 3 outs. 152 innings on the bump this year, only 16 home runs allowed. And the way the Twins win games, the way the Twins score runs is by home runs. So if Corbin Burnes just keeps the ball down the zone, I believe he's going to get those 3 outs. I need Kent to get the 3 outs. That equals 6 outs, and we cash this nerfy. Also, a day start time. That makes me like it even more. Hitters are players of routine, right? The daytime games during the week are never great offensive showings, especially early. So I do think the bats are slow today, and the nerfy cashes.
I love this play. I love this play so much. I was personally looking at taking the under in this game, but then after I reviewed it, and I said, I'm not just confident enough. And then Tanner said, hey, why don't you go with the nerfy? I said, Tanner, that's a brilliant pick. You might not like Kenta Maeda. I like him more than I think a lot of people do. And I've talked about this on the show before, but he had one horrendous start, gave up 10 earned runs in 3 innings to the Yankees back when they were actually good at baseball, not before they were deplorable. If you take out one start, just the one start, he's got an ERA of 2.99 for the season, so he's been below 3. He's been really good. And then Corbin Burnes, we know exactly what he represents. So I love the nerf here. I think that's an awesome play.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Of course. We're being nice to each other today, Tanner.
We are, always.
My second pick, I'm going to go with the Miami Marlins money line for plus money, which honestly surprised me a little bit versus the San Diego Padres. I thought this might be maybe a even money sort of plus 100, minus 120 side of things. But last time I checked, which was a couple hours ago, you get this for just about plus 110. The reason I like this pick so much is Sandy Alcantara is back. His season numbers, he's 6-10 with a 4.11 ERA and a 1.18 whip, going against Seth Lugo, who's 4-6 with a 3.92 and a 1.26 whip. Alcantara, like I said, he's back. He won the Cy Young Award last year, started the season off just horrendously. I mean, he was being booed by his own fans, but you know what? Across his last 10 starts, he's got a 2.77 ERA, so he's really been stepping up as of late. Lugo had one bad start at the beginning of the month. He's given up exactly 2 earned runs in 4 of his last 6 starts. I mean, 2 earned runs isn't bad. It's not the end of the world, but at the same time, can we get some sort of can we get some sort of higher ceiling there? Like, can we have a shutout? I want my pitcher to be consistent, but I don't want him consistently giving up multiple runs, you know what I'm saying? And then the Marlins have also just been finding themselves at the plate again. They're just about league average in scoring of the last couple of weeks. I know that's not great, but considering they're at the bottom when we first came out of the All-Star break, it's a lot of improvement. And a team that is not improving, they're regressing, is the Padres. You look at what they've done over the last 2 weeks, those same last 2 weeks, they're the 3rd lowest scoring team per game in the entire league. Yesterday's game, the Marlins won 3-0. To me, that was more about the nothing of the Padres than it was the 3 of the Marlins. Again, the Padres just continue to have an inability to score runs. Bullpens are nearly identical. I like Alcantara more than I like Lugo, and honestly, I just don't have any confidence in the Padres offense. So I think the Marlins get another win on the road here.
I was looking at the under in this game. I think the 8-run total is good enough to play the under, but I do like this play, Grant. I think Marlins for plus money is good. Padres, though, their offense up and down, inconsistent, but they have such a high boom rating. It's hard not to bet them in some spots, but again, it'd probably be a stay away game for me, but I don't mind the pick.
Would you agree with me? I might have talked about this before as well, but it's like the Padres and the Blue Jays have the most games where they dominate opponents and then immediately they lose a game and you say, how did they just lose that? It was probably those 2 teams.
Their talent on both sides of the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays are starting to figure it out a little bit more, but the Padres and the Blue Jays have so much talent. They're expected to be the front runners in their division, and they just can't put consistent baseball games together, consistent wins. So that's their biggest issue. They're very similar teams.
Yeah, 100%. All right, who's your second pick?
Clayton Kershaw, greatest pitcher of this generation. The greatest pitcher of this generation will take the mound against the absolute dog water offense of the Cleveland Guardians today. Xavier Curry's on the bump for the Guardians. 3-1 with a 3.24 and a 1.19 whip. On most days, Xavier Curry would give his team a chance to win. Not today, though, Grant. Not against Clayton Kershaw, the greatest pitcher of this generation in this Dodgers offense, which is absolutely smoking the baseball. Now, the Dodgers, haven't played great in the series. Not going to lie about that. Have not been fantastic. Yesterday, they lost 8-3, but today they bounced back with a vengeance here, Grant. Dodgers are hitting 251 this season. They've hit 195 homers. The Cleveland Guardians have only hit 91 homers. The Dodgers have a 336 OBP. That's 24 points higher than the Cleveland Guardians here. So I'm going to rely on a great start from Clayton Kershaw. This is just a guy that continues to go out and deliver. If you look at his past 5 starts, Milwaukee Brewers, 5 innings, 1 earned run. Rockies twice. So he went 11 innings combined in both those games, gave up 1 earned run. One of those was at Coors Field. So that's impressive in itself. Shoved the LA Angels 7 innings, no earned runs. And then against the White Sox, went 6 innings, gave up 2 earned runs. Like, this guy just puts together consistently great starts. Like, he is if he just had some, because really not, Clayton Kershaw's not that old. He feels like he's been around forever and ever. He's bottom line, he's 35 years old. Like, there's still dudes pitching at a very high level. He just can't stay healthy consistently over season. But when he's on the mound, he's fantastic.
I was just looking it up to double check there. He is exactly 35 years old. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Tanner, we didn't talk about this. I'm adding this pick to my picks today as well. I'm going to have 4 picks. I wrote this one down. I was going to talk about it. You said you were going to talk about it, so I didn't want to double down, but I like this pick so much. This might be my favorite play of the day, so I am adding it to my list as well. We were talking about Xavier Curry. I mean, 3.24 ERA, that's really good. But here's the thing. He was going 1 to 3 innings for a majority of the season. Only recently got bumped to a larger workload as a real full-time starter. He's had 3 starts with those extended innings. He's got a 4.50 ERA in those 3. So maybe he needs some time to grow more comfortable with this role. But the point is, he hasn't been as productive as he was when he was just, a reliever or an opener or whatever it was. And then the Guardians, yes, we know about the offensive power that the Dodgers have, but the Guardians scored just 3.3 runs per game over the last 7 games. They're disadvantaged in the matchup with Kershaw. The Dodgers bullpen has been a lot better. It's actually got the second best ERA over the last month as far as relievers go. So Dodgers have the advantage in every way in this matchup. I'm taking the Dodgers as well.
Dodgers run line. Not rocket science. Clayton Kershaw on the bump. Greatest pitcher of this generation. Lock it in. All right, Grant, give me the final one. Then I'll go. I got a good final pick after you. Really good final pick.
Well, I'm excited to hear it because I've enjoyed your first 2. I love that nerfing. I love that Dodgers run line as well. My last pick here, I'm taking the Phillies money line versus the San Francisco Giants. Michael Lorenzen on the mound here. He's 7-8 with a 3.57 ERA and a 1.08 WHIP. Going against Alex Wood, who's 6-5 with a 3.75 ERA and a 1.39 WHIP. Now, right off the bat, those ERAs are pretty similar, but a 1.08 WHIP for Lorenzen, a 1.39 WHIP for Wood. Got some differences there. Now, Lorenzen got cooked in his last start against the Nationals, which was weird because the start just before that, he threw a complete game no-hitter to the Nationals. So, I mean, both of those are extreme. You can't really count on him to be at either one of those full-time, but he's got a 3.54 ERA this month. He had a 1.14 ERA last month. He's looked really good in a Phillies uniform. Meanwhile, Cobb, he's got really good numbers for the season, but he has a 7.59 ERA this month, and he has given up 3+ earned runs in 4 straight outings. So if there is a time to bet against him, this is that time. The Phillies are up 2-0 in the series. Yesterday's game was close. It was 4-3, but the Phillies are winning the series by a combined margin of 14-7. The Phillies are also 5th in scoring over the last month. The Giants are 29th. They are one of the worst offenses in the league. And if we're talking about the Giants, we think of their strength as really the bullpen. Well, over the last month, their bullpen ERA is 12th, and I believe the Phillies are 9th. So you look at the Giants' biggest strength, the Phillies are even better at it. So I've got a lot to tell me going with the Phillies. So that's what I'm going to do here. Phillies money line for my last pick.
Yeah, I love the Phillies in this spot, Grant. I mean, the Phillies have just been dominating the Giants and dominating as of late, making a push for the playoffs. So really good pick, Grant.
Thank you. Trey Turner is back. I don't know. Normally, Philadelphia boos all of its people. I don't know why they chose to pivot and cheer for Trey Turner. You gave him that standing ovation, but it worked.
No, Trey Turner's a good baseball player, Grant. That's what it comes down to. Trey Turner's that guy.
Yeah, I mean, he has been like that guy. All right, Tanner, what's this last pick? I'm excited. You gave me a little warning. I want to hear what the real thing is.
The Boston Red Sox they're a disgrace to the city of Boston. To whoever to George Washington. Who was the Britisher coming guy?
It was Paul Revere. It wasn't George Washington.
They are a disgrace to Paul Revere and every one of our forefathers and every person that built the city of Boston. This team has absolutely no fight in them. 9-4 loss to the Houston Astros in game 1 of the series. 7-3 loss in game 2. And yesterday, I'll say it, I had the over yesterday. It shouldn't have gone over. It shouldn't have. It was like 3 runs going to 6th inning. And then they just said, hey, Houston, let's make a bunch of errors. You guys can score. And then luckily, Justin Turner came through with a single at the end of the game in garbage time that didn't even matter except for over bettors. But the Boston Red Sox, they're a shame to Paul Revere. They're going to get their ass kicked today. They're going to get their ass kicked tomorrow. Then the Dodgers are making their way across the country. They're in Cleveland right now. They're coming to Boston, and they're going to dominate us. And then the Houston Astros are coming to Boston, and they're going to dominate us once again. This team is an absolute joke of a franchise, and now they have Chris Sale on the mound. And everyone thinks Chris Sale's actually a good pitcher. Like, people do genuinely think Chris Sale is good. Chris Sale is not good. He gets hurt. And every time he's on the mound, he gives up a ton of runs. He's got a 4.5 ERA and a 1.12 whip. I don't even know how he has that. He's actually been, like, you look at his numbers, past couple starts, gave up 2 earned runs, 3 runs against the Nationals, 2 earned runs against the Tigers. But he only went 4 innings each game. Like, I'm not that impressed. Jose Urquidy on the mound, he could be worse than Chris Sale today. And the Astros will still win by 1 million runs. Urquidy, 2-3, the 5.21 and a 1.42 whip. He's been getting lit up as of late. He hasn't been going that deep into games. The Yankees took him for 5 earned runs. The Tampa Bay Rays took him for 6 earned runs. That's everything you need to know right there. This game's going to go over. It's going to go over by a lot. I'm surprised it's only at 9 runs because yesterday it was at 8.5 with Justin Verlander on the mound. So take the over here. That's the only good bet right now for the Boston Red Sox just because they're giving up so many runs. They're ashamed of Paul Revere.
It sounded like you were going to go Astros run line for a while. I'm surprised you're going with the over. Is it because of Urquidy? You don't trust him?
Yeah, like if the Red Sox are going to win one game in the series, it's probably today against him, and Chris Sale will probably pitch okay. It's still going to be a 6-5 game, though. Like, that's what it comes down to with these offenses. Like, Houston can strike at any time. Honestly, the Red Sox can strike at any time. They don't have their offense isn't terrible. They haven't shown up past couple days, but it's really just the fact that they don't have any fight in them.
I mean, you expect them to show some fight at some point, probably when they're back in their home stadium, because they're still not out of it from a wild card perspective. But
yes, they are, Grant. Yes, they are. Like yes, maybe not mathematically not out of it, but like mentally, physically, and everything to do with like playing the games, they're out of it.
Well, let me. I think we're both looking it up. We're both looking it up right now. Yeah,
they're 5 games back now. They were 3 games back 2 days ago, and they lost it 5. They ain't overcoming 5 games, Grant. They're dead.
No, they're definitely not. And you know what? The Blue Jays are only a game behind. They might, I don't know if they're dead, but I feel like, how do I put this? With the way things are going, that gap feels like more than a game because the Mariners are taking off. I think the Astros are a much better team than them. And the Rays, they've got a 4.5 game lead. I don't see them really giving that up.
It goes so quick, though. Like, the Red Sox were 2 games back a couple days ago, 2.5 games back. Like, even 2.5 games back at this point in the season's hard because you need to win and your opponent needs to lose. Like, that's how you make up a game, or you beat them head to head. Like, the Red Sox 5 games back, you might as well, the season's over. Bring the AAA guys up. Let's get them some more because we're not going to go sign a big name player. We don't do that.
Well, I mean, at least you're closer to the playoffs than the Yankees are. Did you know the Nationals are closer to a playoff spot than the Yankees are? And it's not even really close. They're like 3 games closer.
Yeah, but you know what? I can live with, like, being the New York Yankees, you just suck. Like, people are just onto the Giants and the Jets. Like, I can live with, like, if you just suck, I can live with that. The Red Sox, like, aren't terrible, but they're not good enough to get to the playoffs. And they didn't make enough moves to go get someone to get into the playoffs. Like, that's what bothers me.
All right, Tanner, final thoughts. Are the Red Sox going after Shohei this offseason?
No, not even close. If he comes to the East Coast, he'll be a Yankee. He'll either be a Giant or a Dodger.
Okay, I can see that. I mean, I is the thing. I feel like, well, it doesn't really matter because it's free agency, but the Angels would be pretty pissed if he ends up as a Dodger. That's all I'm going to say.
You know what? It's stupid to sign Shohei. It's so stupid to sign Shohei Ohtani. If you sign this man for $700 million, yeah, it is. He's not going to be able to pitch and hit at the same level. He's already got arm soreness or whatever the hell he's got. If he's not
coming back today, he's starting today.
Yeah, but like that's just not a good sign moving forward. If you're paying a guy $700 million, he's not going to pitch and hit at the same level throughout the entire contract. You're really not like I'd rather sign not Justin Verlander now, but I'd rather go sign a pitcher who's better than him because there are a lot of pitchers out there better than him. And I'd rather sign 2 guys because there's less liability there. Because you can find a pitcher that's better than him, and you cannot find a hitter that's comparable to him.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying with the amount of money, because if it's 700 million, you divvy that up, that's 350 million, and then like what? That's like Bryce Harper, Juan Soto numbers. So you could get someone with their talent on offense and that level of production
less
on the
liability.
mound, and then you can bring them both in.
Yeah, I mean, he gets hurt. He gets Tommy John surgery. He's not swinging a bat. Like there's so much risk involved for $700 million. Like he's an appeal. He's going to help sell tickets for you. But other than that, I'd stay away and go get two players that are doing numbers similar to him, because there's plenty out there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you. I think you're good. I think really it's an instance of, your team, either you're championship ready and you need that final infinity stone, or he's the guy to get you over. I don't think it's, how the Phillies kind of built the whole franchise around Bryce Harper. I don't think that's what whoever Shohei's team should do.
No. But
okay, well, I mean, that's the end of the show, Tanner.
Ride the line. That was Ride the Line for Wednesday, August 23rd. Lock in, be a Bulldog today, win some money. The game started early. Get those Nerfies in. And Grant, subscribe, and we'll see you next time for another episode. Ride the Line.
We'll be back very soon. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure that you are subscribed, and we will see you very soon.